So, for us, every week we just want to be the best version of Clemson week in and week out, regardless. But you have certain games that come along that there's just always a little added juice, and Clemson Florida State's definitely one of those games, regardless of the records. I mean, heck, we were I don't remember what we were. That we were like 5-4 my first year here at Clemson. 5-4, I think. 5-4, I think. Just gotten destroyed by Wake Forest, and they come in here like number 2 or 3 in the country, and we beat them. So when you start worrying about, they're a 5-4 team, they must not be very good, and we're the number 2 or 3 team or whatever. No, it doesn't work that way. You gotta show up and understand who you're playing week in and week out. And some teams' record's bad, and they're bad. They're just bad. It is what it is, but it's not always the case. This is a good football team, like I said, that had NC State down to the wire, Louisville down to the wire, Miami down to the last play. Really, really dangerous team.
Going off of some of what you just said there, this rivalry is obviously proven to be very special. Recently, you played in arguably the best rivalry in college football, but when you see FSU Clemson matched up, how special is this in terms of what it means to the sport?
I mean, this game right here has really decided the division the last, I don't know how many years. When's the last time? What's that?
Every year you've been here.
Since I've been a head coach?
Yes.
There you go.
Including 08.
Including 08?
They won the division in 08.
Okay, well, there you go. So it's been Clemson, Florida State every year. So it's 9 years now. It's been Clemson, Florida State, one of us in the championship game. So for us, and again, when you look at the schedule and you kind of play the schedule out, and you're like, okay, this is what it's going to take. I think everybody said, well, Clemson's got a good team, Florida State's got a good team. It's a good chance the division may come down to the Clemson-Florida State game. Well, it has. It has. And it's really no different for us. We got to beat them to win it, and if we don't, they can deny us, regardless of what their consequences are. It's the exact same for us. Nothing has changed. So, it's good to be in a situation where you control your own destiny, but you got to play well and you got to earn it. And we all know what's at stake this week, and we know the type of Florida State team that we're going to see, the type of effort. But it's just not about that. I mean, it's about, how we play and the mindset that we bring to the game.
Dabo, as a player on the field and as a leader off the field, how much of an impact has Wilkins had on the seasons that Bryant, Farrell, and Lawrence are having, and just kind of their progress as players?
Well, I think Christian, he was kind of ahead of those guys, kind of out of the gate. I think they're all the same class. I think they all came in here together. They did. And Cleveland ended up redshirting, coming off an ACL. Austin played as a freshman and a little bit. Played more latter part of the year when I think Shaq got hurt, maybe in the Orange Bowl, but got a little playing time as the year went. And then last year, Cleveland kind of comes out. Austin's hurt, misses a lot of time. And so, but Christian's kind of been the mainstay, right from day one, he has been a leader on this team. As a true freshman, the day he got here, and maybe that's just a sign of his background, his maturity. He's one of, I think, 10 kids. He's been in a boarding school since the 9th grade. So he lived away from home at a boarding school, and just a different type of maturity to him when he got here, just a different worldly knowledge, if you will, than your typical freshman coming in here, and just very focused on what he wanted to do, and his work ethic was off the charts. Incredibly athletic, but made an impact day one on the field and off the field. And I think that the biggest thing is he's just provided great leadership, and he's provided a model as far as how you work. Because everybody sees Christian work. You know, he's got this big personality and all that stuff, but man, he's a worker. Christian is a grinder. He's one of those guys that's over here all the time when nobody's watching, working on his technique. You know, he's whatever little thing. I mean, he was a fat, pudgy kid when he got here, kind of soft around the edges, and now he's, you know, svelte, you know, got a couple of abs, you know, 300-pounder. He's just, and that's just him, you know, he's so committed to creating every edge for himself. And he's a very knowledgeable player, but I think he's just served as a good example to his teammates, and he brings great energy to that front. But let me tell you, Clee and Austin and Big Dex, man, those are three grown men right there. The maturity of those three guys, they kind of stand on their own 2 feet. In fact, I think they've impacted Christian now. I think they've really helped him continue his maturation process. Just really, those 4 guys are pretty special.
Their personality, you know, kind of going into that is what makes them all unique, right? Because they all have such different personalities but work so well together.
Yeah, they do. You know, Clee comes across as a really quiet guy, and he is. But he's got a great personality. He really does. And he is so focused. I mean, he's just an unbelievably committed and focused, player. A great teammate. Austin's the same way. I mean, it's just when you got guys that are great players that just care so much about the program, about their performance, about their teammates. I mean, it makes my job a lot easier, and that's who they are. And then Dexter, same thing. He's kind of quiet too on the outside, but man, what a great personality he's got, and a relentless competitor. To watch him play last week, I mean, he played great, and he had a bum ankle, and I mean, he was disruptive with his opportunities and just taking on double teams and just doing stuff that a lot of times don't show up on the stat sheet. But I'm really proud of all 4 of those guys. They thrive off each other.
How do you detect that kind of character on the recruiting trail? When you walk into a school, onto a head coach's office, how do you know this guy's got it, this guy doesn't?
Well, I don't think you can just get it when you walk into the school. I mean, you certainly try to do your homework and your research. You talk to everybody that you can talk to. These coaches, I mean, we've created an environment here where they know that I'm going to hold them accountable for not just the type of player, but I'm going to hold them accountable for the person that they bring in here, first and foremost. And so, I think our coaches are pretty cautious and very thorough. And so there's a lot that goes into that. I mean, it's like I said, it's talking to obviously all the coaches and other people in the school. It's what's, sometimes it's talking to the strength coach, what type of work ethic does he have in the weight room? Obviously, it's their family, getting around their family, and just kind of, figuring out how this young person is wired and how he's been raised. And I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. We study their social media big time, because sometimes you got a guy that's got one personality and then he's got a whole different profile on social media, and that matters. So we try to do as good a job as we can, but also understanding that these are young people. These aren't finished people, grown, mature adults, and so there's a fine line that, because part of our job is developing character, correcting, and helping these guys mature. So I think, you just got to make good decisions, and make sure that we bring the very best people in here first, but also, players that are good enough to compete at the highest level.
You have a lot of young players that watched players win games last year from the sidelines, and Saturday was really the first time that guys like Kayvon Wallace and Niles Pinckney have been in there in crunch time, and then part of that comeback win. How invaluable is
It's huge. I mean, y'all have heard me say many times. I mean, this is nobody wants to hear that, and I ain't gonna ever stand up here and make some excuse for you. I mean, I tell you, day one, we're good enough. I mean, we're good enough. We got all we need. But when you sit there and you look at you and you go, okay, we had 36 guys the other night there were 36 guys that we took on that trip that are either new players, so they're first-year players, guys like Isaiah Simmons, T. Higgins, Amari Rogers, ETN, guys like that are just truly first-year players, or they're guys that are in bigger roles than they've ever been. Trey Lamar, Kayvon, Trayvon, Ray. They got to be the guy. Dion, Mylan, Feaster. I mean, this is the first time in their career that they've kind of, had to kind of carry that load of, hey, I'm the guy, and I've got to step up. Falcinelli. I mean, there's 36 guys like that on our roster out of 72 that traveled to Raleigh. Like I said, that are just, and there's other guys that don't fit that category, that maybe don't have big roles right now. But it's fun when you see them, start to grow. We're going to make some mistakes. I mean, you just know that. And so I know what's coming. I know that it's going to pay off for us. We got a couple of young DBs that are going to learn through their mistakes that are going to turn out to be really good players for us. We're coaching them dang wideouts left and right every single day. There's so much to teach. There's so much to learn. Kelly Bryant, he's one of them. I mean, he's a junior, but he hadn't really played. And now you're in every situation is an opportunity to grow. And I thought last week was a great growth opportunity, in particular Kelly, because he didn't play well. I mean, he made great